This guy knows a little something about Nookie back in the day, huh? How great was Joe Namath? Joe Namath was a player in every sense of the word. 85 Hall of Fame inductee. And Teak, he sent us about a month or so ago, his people sent us the Joe Namath Rapid Cooker, which is insane. It really is cool. We'll send a picture of it. Joe, how are you? It's Tiki and Tierney here on CBS Sports Radio. What's happening, Joe?
Well, thank you. Well, what's happening, again, a little disappointed with the Giants' outcome yesterday,
Oh,
but I'm
come on.
certainly looking forward to the Jet games tonight.
Why you
I tell
hating on my
Tiki,
Giants, man? Why you
guys
hating on my Giants,
understand.
Joe?
What is it?
Why you hating on my Giants already? We just got here this morning.
Oh, I'm not hitting on them. Believe me, I'm pulling for them. I have more friends that are Giant fans, a lot of friends that are Giant fans. I got over that Giant Jet stuff, Tiki, when Ray Perkins became the head coach of the Giants years ago.
That's a good reason to get over it.
Well,
too,
Joe,
by the
here
way.
we got to seamlessly transition to this before we get to the game tonight. What happened to the Tide over the weekend? Are you a little worried about this season, Joe?
Well, yes, worried about it in that, and Coach Saban's talked about it too. Expectations are very high. If you don't win a national championship, it's like it's not been a good season. Even when I was there, Tiki, you guys, we lost 2 games my junior year. We were 9-2, and the next spring we had a rebuilding spring.
Yes, that's how it works down in Alabama.
Expectations are high, and Ole Miss is a heck of a team, and to oversimplify things, when you give the ball away 5 times, things are going to be tough.
Yeah, you're not going to win. Joe, are you worried about your head coach going elsewhere?
I'm not worried about him going elsewhere. I know there's been talk about him having opportunities, but when I've been around him, we haven't talked about his going elsewhere. I don't know that he's really looking to go anywhere after leaving, after his tenure as head coach at Alabama. He's accomplished a great deal in his life, and, trying to rebuild another program is it's demanding, and I think his wife is pretty content right now in Tuscaloosa. So I don't expect Coach Saban to be going anywhere else.
All right, it's the great Joe Namath with us here on CBS Sports Radio. Tiki and Tierney Show. Joe, Hall of Famer in 85 is when he got inducted. 5-time Pro Bowler as well. Oh, obviously, the Colts are forever historically connected with your lineage as a player. And before we get to the game, there's some young quarterbacks out there now, Joe, whether it's a Carr or a Winston or a Mariota or Manziel. Who do you like watching? Who impresses you so far with the young kids?
Well, just starting out there, there was a big performance in the first week by Mariota. I watched quite a bit of Winston yesterday, too, and you can't forget about him, even though the first week his performance was overshadowed by Mariota. These guys are good. They're good. It's a team effort. It's a team game, and the maturity comes hopefully with each week. But the one question we don't know, I don't know because I'm not there working with them day in and day out, is what's between the ears. How they approach the game mentally. How are they going to conduct themselves when the pressure comes on? How do they anticipate defensive changes? That remains to be seen. Both of those guys, though, just absolutely look outstanding. And if the teams produce, we've been talking about a couple of Mannings over the years, including Eli, who had a bit of an off day yesterday. But the first Manning that would have been in the Pro Football Hall of Fame to me, would have been Archie Manning, but he never had a team to work with.
Good point. Very good point.
He played with those New Orleans Aints,
Yeah, that's when they were wearing the bags on their head.
They were bad, Joe.
Joe, you said you mentioned that you watched a lot of that Tampa game, but the quarterback on the other side, Drew Brees, he's a guy who we know what exists between the years. We know his level of success and his ability to do it, but it feels like it's fading. And BT mentioned
How about the harmony with the rest of the team?
Well, because the Rob Ryan, the defensive side of the ball, they get rid of the best red zone threat. I mean, is it the end for Drew Brees?
I don't believe that. I think physically he's still showing that he can play. Drew will make that decision. But once again, I keep going back to the Giants yesterday, the defense giving up that kind of passing yardage and all. if they're able to slow Atlanta down more than the offense might have held on. Who knows? But Brees is he's with a team right now that's not playing well. And I keep jumping around, but look how awful Philadelphia played yesterday.
Oof.
I mean, good grief. The guys make mistakes. It's a game where individuals try to play together as a team, and individuals do make errors, boy.
That's true. Joe Namath with us here on CBS Sports Radio. All right, Joe, let's get to our Jets. And I'm a big Jet fan, and obviously the Colts are going to be in a ticked-off mood. Didn't play well in the opener, got smashed around and really beat up in Buffalo. We know Andrew Luck is great, so I can't imagine your opinion would deviate much from that. My concern, if I'm a Colts fan, they're soft, Joe. They are not a tough team. You can push them around. You can run on them. You can sack the quarterback. Are they tough enough to win, at the level their owner expects them to win this season?
Boy, I tell you what, Tiki, I don't know how you think about this, man, but I don't know that there's a cat in the National Football League that isn't tough physically or mentally.
Well, it's
that
all
game
relative,
is just
Joe.
too damn demanding.
Yeah.
I believe the Colts are tough enough individually and collectively that they just didn't play well against Buffalo. Buffalo confused them. That offensive line, that Buffalo defensive front was pretty good. It's hard. I'm looking to see if Andre Johnson can do something tonight, if they can get the ball to him. But I'm more concerned about the Jets. I hope the Colts play a lousy game tonight, and I hope the Jets beat them up pretty good. But I couldn't comment realistically on the toughness of that Colt defense or team, man. I believe all those guys that are playing in the NFL have to have proven themselves just to get there.
Yep.
How they play day in and day out remains to be seen.
Yeah, well, that goes without saying. I mean, tougher than me, of course. I meant, relative to their peers. But I hear you, Joe. Let me ask you about this. And it's going to require a projection on your part. Let's say in 6-7 weeks, Geno's healthy. So in your mind, you're calculating how Fitzpatrick does and how the Jets do over the next month and a half or so. Who's quarterbacking the Jets in the middle of the season?
Well, I think Coach Bowles already answered that question. If Fitzpatrick is playing well, he's keeping the job.
Yeah.
As he should. I guess what I'm asking is, do you think he'll play well long enough to keep the job?
Well, this is his 11th year, and I think it's the best team he's been with, so that's going to remain to be seen. What I saw of him last week, his arm strength is certainly not to be questioned. He's throwing with some heat. I got to believe that what he has between the ears, his demeanor last week was good to me. He looked very calm, collected. I got to believe he knows how to manage that offense and has, because of his experience, the knowledge of what to anticipate from defenses and be able to change things. Given the team he has, and the Jets did bring in some pretty nice personnel with free agents and the new defensive lineman Williams. I mean, he can be a monster.
Yeah.
He's going to have to play himself out of the job. Let me put it that way.
Yeah,
he's going to have to play himself out of the starting job.
Yeah, because there's a lot of talent on this Jets team, offensively and defensively. And it brings up an interesting point. I joke with BT about this all the time because he's a Jets fan. Obviously, I played my entire career for the Giants. But there's an opportunity here perceptually in New York for the Jets because of the talent that they have, because of the opportunity that they have to overtake, maybe even just for a year or two, what the Giants have meant to this city. Now, you know this, obviously, because you did it back in '69 when you won the championship. Is that something that you think this team and Todd Bowles, this organization, and the players think about? Because it's huge here in New York if you win.
I know, Tiki, that it's what some people think about in the organization. We can go back to signing Tebow, if you like, and trying to fight for headlines. The media and trying to win the city, so to speak, without winning the championship. No, both teams are very conscious in their media department and other areas of how they're looked at with the New York fans. But the two things that are going to remain consistent is the fan base of the Giants and the fan base of the Jets, which has never weakened or wandered, going back to, the Titans and then the Jets and the AFL. The Jets haven't done much or haven't won the big one since, but that darn fan base, even shifting over to Jersey, is there.
That's right. That's not changing, Joe.
It's great. Great sport. NFL has a lock on it, the league, and the sport's not going away. The Jets fans are going to stay strong, and the Giants fans are too, even though it's been tough this last couple of weeks for the Giants fans.
It might get a little tougher, too. Giants don't look too great. Joe, before we let you go, give us a score. Are we going to pull it out tonight? And I said we. We get the win tonight?
If I knew, I'd call home and tell my brothers or somebody who to bet on. I wish I did know. I'm certainly pulling for the Jets. I think it's going to be tough for the Jets to win up there, especially you just don't know. I don't know. I can't tell you something I don't know, but Tiki, I'm pulling for the Jets. Tierney,
you got to.
For the Jets.
You got to. You got to, Joe. We appreciate you joining us this morning again, and thank you for our grills.
It's the Joe Namath Rapid Cooker, and they sent us a ton of meat as well. It's awesome, Joe. It really is good.
It is. It's terrific food. NamathProducts.com. The sports fans can check that out because we're doing a bargain for them after listening to your show on some of the things. But right now, I love your show, guys. I got to say, Jets.
Jet.
You Jets fans.
All right, Joe. Hey, enjoy the win tonight, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Joe.